We were discussing the importance of statistics, functions, characteristics. We have discussed. Then the next is the last topic in this particular unit is limitations of statistics. So far we have discussed the meaning and definition, the characteristics, then function, importance, and the last one is limitations to statistics. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Only now limitation is left. So I have given you what are the things we have to cover. Now only limitation is left, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So what are the limitation of statistics? So we have seen in the meaning or definition itself that statistics deals with quantitative measures only. It does not take into consideration the qualities. Qualities like intelligence, beauty. So the qualities are not taken into consideration. So that is regarded as a limitation of statistics. Statistics take into consideration only quantitative measures. It does not take into consideration the qualitative aspects. So that is one of the limitation. Just right. Just write the limitation. Statistics does not consider qualitative factors, does not deal with or does not deal with, you write, does not deal with qualitative facts, does not deal with qualitative facts. That means it deals with quantity only. So what is the limitation? It does not deal with qualitative facts. Chaitanya, you are joining the class after 10 minutes. So that is one of the limitation. Then you have studied it is aggregate of facts in the characteristics. Statistics, you have seen the characteristic. There you have seen that statistics is aggregate of facts. We don't consider any individual item. Individual item we don't consider. It is not, importance is not given to any individual item. We give importance to aggregates only. The total only we give the importance. I mean, for example, if in a class, if statistics exam is out of 40, the students are getting 40, 42, 43, 44 like that. A single student is getting 25 or even less than that. The average which will come out is on the basis of the aggregates. This individual item, how this particular individual value affect the whole data, that is not considered. So that means the importance of individual item is not given in statistics. So if you come to an, I mean, average, that will be like it can be inflated, an inflated average. Even though two students they are getting very minimum marks, then also on an average you are getting it. That means individual importance is not given to individual item. Importance is given to the aggregates only. That's also we can write it as a limitation. So the second limitation you write. Second limitation. Statistics does not study individuals. Does not study individuals. That means here it means individual figure that does not give any importance. They give importance to the total only. Then coming to the third limitation. Statistics will give you only an approximate value. So whatever you get as a result, mean, median, mode, whatever, that will be an approximate value. That means that is true only on an average. It is not a perfect or the exact value. In statistics, you won't get the exact value. Whatever value you will get, that is on an average, it is true. Or else you can say on an average, it is not perfect, it is less perfect. It is exact only on an average. It is not the exact figure. So you get only a true, figure which is on an average exact, not the correct figure you will get. The correct figure you won't get in statistics because we study it as an aggregate. We are not studying each and individual item. So whatever result you get, that is okay. That is an approximate figure, not an exact figure. You get only an approximate figure. An exact figure we cannot arrive at. That is another limitation. So write the third, I think it's the third limitation. So write the third limitation. Statistics laws are true. Statistics laws, or you can say values or measures, are true only on an average. Only on an average. Statistical measures or laws are true only on average. What do you mean by that? They are true only on average means approximate. The values are only approximate, not the exact. Values are only approximate. You will get only the approximate figure. The exact figure you will not get in statistics because you take into consideration the aggregate fact, not each and every individual item. So the answer you get, the measure you get, all these measures, whatever inferences you take, that is not an exact figure. It's only an approximate figure. Next limitation is uniformity and homogeneity of data. Uniformity and homogeneity of data.
And what was the second one?
I mean, the second word you meant uniformity and homogeneity. 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 That is opposite of heterogeneous. Homogeneous. Okay. Uniformity and homogeneity of data. So in statistics, if the data is homogeneous or uniform, then only you can take what inferences or you can, it is useful. In a heterogeneous data, it will not work. So homogeneous data should be available or uniformity should be there in the data at your hand. So whatever data which you have in your hand, that should be uniform or homogeneous. Otherwise, that is useless. A heterogeneous data statistics cannot work. It will not work. We cannot work. With statistics is not possible with the heterogeneous data. That means only when it is uniform or homogeneous, we can make inferences from statistics. We can make use of statistics. In other words, we can say you can make use of statistics only when the data at your disposal is uniform or homogeneous. So if there is no uniformity, just like in the case of height of trees and height of students given, it is not homogeneous. There is no uniformity. So you cannot compare it and the statistics, you cannot apply the statistics into that. So the data should be what? Uniform and homogeneous. Then only you can work with statistics. Can be done with it. Then one more limitation you write. Statistical result. The third limitation Okay, let me know which one I am like. Is the third one now I am explaining? Yeah, the fourth one. Somehow.
Okay.
Actually, I don't remember the number what I have said. Which one first? What was the first one? Somehow, can you read?
And statics does not deal with with qualitative facts.
That's the first. Then second, what did you write?
And statics does not study individuals.
Okay. Third,
I'm very personal third one.
only 3 points I have covered so far.
I'm 4 points. Fifth one you are going to tell.
Okay, third point. What was the third point? What was
It
the
gives
third?
an approximate, not
Okay.
exact value.
Okay. Okay. It gives only an approximate value, not the exact value. And the point was statistics laws or measures are true only on average. Only on an average it is true. Statistics laws are true only on averages. That means it will not give you an exact figure. It will give you only an approximate figure. That was the third one. The next one, what I have said is uniformity and homogeneity of data. That means statistics can be done only with such a data which is uniform and homogeneous. Otherwise, we cannot do statistics. We cannot apply statistics into that. The last one, fifth, right? Okay. Fifth one, statistical results might lead to fallacious conclusions. Fallacious, Fallacious. Statistical results may lead to fallacious conclusions. Fallacious conclusions. What do you mean by fallacious conclusion? A false conclusion. It may lead to a false conclusion. That means, suppose first of all, if the data is wrong, the data collected, if there is any problem with the data, it is unsystematically collected, your interpretation will be wrong. That is one thing. Then another thing, it is affected by extreme item. With the measures, when in a class, there are 3 students who got 100 out of 100 and several other students got a less mark, and this 100 out of 100 students, that means when the total is taken, the extremes items affect the average, so it may lead, so average will be a figure which is okay, like maybe 65. I mean, average is 65, but most of the students, they are below the average, below 50 marks they have got. Because of 4 5 students got 100 out of 100, and the other students, even though scored less, the average of the class, when you take, that will be showing a wrong figure. That means extremely affected by the big items. So in such case, it may lead toward fallacious conclusion. A wrong conclusion can be taken on the basis of this extreme item. So that's all for limitation. There are several other limitations. It's enough for you. Okay. So I think I have told you, I have taught you 5 limitations. And limitations are, several other limitations are there. It needs lot of expertise. Needs lot of expertise to take a good decision out of statistics. Only expert can take us a good decision, best possible use of statistics. It needs a lot of expertise. Ordinary or layman cannot take a decision on the basis of statistics. It needs expertise. That is another limitation. So likewise, it has a lot of limitation. And here it is extremely affected by the huge items, and it can, if the data is wrong, definitely the decision you take will be wrong. So like that, it has a lot of limitation. Okay, now we will move to the topic collection of data, because statistics, you know, what is statistics, Prekhar? Can you answer? What is statistics? Prekhar?
Ma'am, it is a collection of data.
Only collection?
Ma'am, interpreting,
Hmm.
organizing of data,
Yeah, say, I mean, there is a order, na?
presentation and analyzing,
Yeah, collection. Then after collection, what happens? You have to
organization of data,
organize, classify,
presentation
organize, present. Then after last will
and
come interpretation of the data. Okay, good. So what was the first one? Collection of data. So we will start with collection of data. Collection. Write the heading collection of data. What is collection of data? Collection of information, right? So you have to collect the data. That is the job of an enumerator. In statistics, we call the person who is collecting, we call him enumerator or investigator. You might have studied. Okay. So that process of inquiry, conducting the inquiry and collecting the information, that is known as collection of data. That particular step is known as collection of data. And collection of data can be of two types. They are primary data and secondary data. Collection of data is the step where the enumerator or the person who is conducting the inquiry collect the inquiry and collect the facts. That is known as collection of data. And the data are of two types. They are primary data and secondary data, right? The types of data are primary data and secondary data. What is primary data? When the enumerator collect the facts originally, he himself collected. He himself collected. It is of original nature. Such data are called what? Primary data. He himself collected first hand. That means originally he collected. That is known as primary data. So you write what is primary data? Primary data. Primary data are those data which are collected by the investigator himself. Collected by the investigator himself. These are original data. These are original data and collected for the first time. And collected for the first time.
Can you please repeat?
Okay, these are the data which is collected originally by the investigator or the enumerator. You won't get exactly because I'm exactly the same thing you won't get. So it is the enumerator collected himself. Then it is the original data. It is the original data and collected for the first time. It is collected for the first time. It is the original data and it is collected by himself, by the enumerator himself. So 3 points. Okay, Kanak?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Next is secondary data. Secondary data. Secondary data. So what must be secondary data? It is not collected for the first time, isn't it? It might be like collected by somebody else and you using it. That is secondary data. So by the word itself says it is secondary. That means the enumerator is not collecting it by himself. He is taking from some other source. Somebody has already collected it. He is taking it from the other source. Some maybe from some published sources he is taking it, and maybe through a third person like he's taking it. That is known as the secondary data. So write what is secondary data. Secondary data are those facts which have been already collected by somebody else. Which have been already collected by somebody else. So here the difference is by somebody else. And the first one, investigator himself collect the data. Here it is already collected by somebody else. That is for some other purpose. For some other purpose. Mostly it is in published form. Mostly it is in published form. In published form, like you are collecting it from some journal or from some magazine or from some commission report, some published reports you are collecting it. Mainly the secondary data come from published reports. Unpublished reports are also there, but mainly it comes from published reports. So that's collection of data, types of data, primary and secondary. Primary, it is collected by the person himself, enumerator himself for the first time. That's more important. It's original data. And the secondary data are those data which collected by somebody else for some other purpose you are using it. That is secondary data. Mostly it comes from the published sources. Next is methods of collecting primary data. Methods of collecting primary data. The first one is direct personal investigation. First method is direct personal investigation. I don't think you need an explanation for that. Direct personal investigation, that the enumerator goes to individually to everyone from whom he has to collect the information and take the information. That is known as direct personal investigation. He meets people, collect the information himself from them. That is known as direct personal investigation. Who conducts the inquiry? The investigator himself conducts the inquiry. He meets people from whom he has to collect the data. So that is the first method. Next, indirect, the second one, indirect oral investigation. Indirect oral investigation. So here, actually it is indirect. Indirect means necessary information is collected from an indirect source or a third party, that's all. Not from the actual individual. Here also the investigator himself collects the data, but not directly. From a third party it is being collected. So what is indirect oral investigation? The information is collected from an indirect source. That is from a third party. Is first-hand information, original information, but collected from a third party. That means indirectly. The third method, information through local correspondence. Information through local correspondence. What is information through local correspondence? Local correspondence means local agents are appointed. Local agents are appointed, and the local agent for each particular locality, they will collect the information and hand over the information. So here some agents are appointed, the local agents are appointed for different locality. They will go collect the information and give it. Normally it is done by generally it is done by the government. So this is the third one, that is information through local correspondence. It's a method in which local agents are appointed in different parts of the investigation area. It's a method in which who are appointed? Local agents are appointed in different parts of the investigation area. So here the thing you have to remember is the name of the local agents. So according to the area, in different parts of the area, some local agents are appointed. For what? To collect the information. Collect the information. So this is normally done by the government and semi-government organization. They appoint their own local agents at different area, and it will be collected. So the next method is information through mailed questionnaire. Information through mailed questionnaire. Questionnaire means what? A list of questions. So they will prepare a list of questions and they will mail it. They will send it by post or whatever. And the persons with the concerned person will fill it and send back it to the investigator. So that is known as information through mailed questionnaire. What is questionnaire? A list of questions which is prepared on the basis of inquiry, on the basis of, what is the purpose of the study. According to the purpose of the study, the questionnaire will be prepared. What are the purposes? What are the data required? On the basis of that, a list of questions will be prepared. That is known as questionnaire. And this questionnaire will be made and it will be mailed or sent to the person who has to answer it, and they will answer it and send it back. Such a method is known as what? Information through mailed questionnaire. Information through mailed questionnaire. It's a method in which list of questions is sent to the informants. It's a method in which a list of questions is sent to the informants. Who are the informants? From where we have to take the information, collect the information is known as informants. M-A-N-T-S. M-A-N-T-S. Informants. By post. How this questionnaire is being sent? By post. What is questionnaire? This list of questions prepared, keeping in mind the study, for what purpose it is done. That is known as questionnaire. So under this method, the investigator prepares the questionnaire. Who makes the questionnaire? The investigator. What is questionnaire? A list of questions. And this question will be prepared keeping in view the objective of the study. For what purpose it is required? Keeping in view the objective, they will prepare the questionnaire and send it to the informant. And the informant will fill it and send it back. And then they will collect the information. That is known as information through mailed questionnaire. The next is questionnaire to enumerators. Questionnaire through enumerators. So this is also the same way, but it is not mailed. Questionnaire through enumerator means the enumerator himself go with the questionnaire, give it to the informants and ask them to fill and collect it back. It is not sent by post or it is not mailed. That's the only difference. The enumerator will go directly with the questionnaire, give it to the informants, and informants will fill it and give it back. That method is also there. That method is what collecting the information through questionnaire through enumerators. Questionnaire through enumerators. E and U enumerators. MERATORS. Questionnaire through enumerators. So these are the popular methods of collecting. Daksh, can you please read the methods? What you have written?
Direct personal investigation, direct oral investigation, information through locals, correspondence, information through mailed questionnaire, questionnaire through enumerators.
Through enumerators. So total how many are there?
5.
Okay, very good. So there are 5 methods of collecting data. Isn't it? What is a questionnaire, Vaishnavi? What do you mean by a questionnaire?
क्या?
What do you mean by the term questionnaire? Yeah, somebody else? What do you mean by a questionnaire?
List of questions.
Okay.
A list of
List of
questions.
questions.
Yeah, the list of questions are called questionnaire. This questionnaire it should have some qualities. There's no need to write it and all. It should be like whenever you get a questionnaire, question should be less in number. Suppose somebody is giving for a collection of data, 50 questions are there, you will lose your interest. Who will enter all the answers? So it should be a less number of questions, and it should be small and clear. Like the question should not be like the question should be clear to you. You should understand what they have, what answer you have to give. So the question should be clear and it should be less in numbers. And its proper sequence should be there and should not ask some personal question. Personal questions like how old are you? Okay. I mean, for what is the income of what is your income? Like personal questions should be avoided. Some personal question, prohibited question you should not ask. And it should be clear, instructions should be there how you have to fill the form. So questionnaire should be simple and it should be not that elaborate. Should be answer can be given with one sentence maximum or one word. And some personal questions like should be prohibited. So, I mean, it should have some quality. Questionnaire less in number. One quality I said it should be less in number. The question should be less in number. It should be clear, and it should be most important thing. It should be relevant to the investigation. You are collecting data for some purpose, and it should be relevant to that purpose, relevant to that investigation. Okay, such kind of quality the questionnaire should have. So it should be made with some, very carefully the questionnaire should be made. Okay, so we were dealing with the 2 types of data. What are the 2 types of data? Chaitanya, are you there? What are the 2 types of data? Chaitanya, what are the 2 different types of data? Why? Okay, I have seen your answer, but it's better you unmute yourself and speak. Your answer is correct. Your answer is correct, Chaitanya. Primary and secondary. Why don't you unmute yourself and speak? So primary data and secondary data are the 2 types of data. So far we were discussing with the primary data. Primary data means the data which is collected originally by the investigator. That means original data, first time collecting by himself. and different methods of collecting the primary data we have seen, isn't it? The next is secondary data. From where you will get the secondary data? I told you it is from the published source, isn't it? So you write published sources. Side heading, you write collection of secondary data, then you write published sources.
Ma'am, published or public?
Published. 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 Published sources. What are the published sources? Published sources only you will get the, secondary data you will get from the published sources and unpublished sources, but mainly from the published source. What are the published sources? First of all, government publications. Government publications. Then international publications. International publications. Reports of commissions and committees. Reports of commissions and committees. You know, there are several committees or several commission like finance commission by different person's name, like Kotari commission, this commission, that commission. So from those reports, their reports of commissions and committees, you will get the information. Then publications of research institutes, publications of research institutes, then magazines, reports of trade associations, publications of personal investigation, etc. 7 examples I have given. I have given these many examples because for filling the blanks, any particular thing can be put and can be asked. It's a kind of what data. Okay, it's a kind of published form, but secondary data. So what are they? They are government publications. It can be international publications like World Health Organization publication. You get some data from WHO. You get some data from International Labour Organization. So those are international publications. So first of all, government publication, just like Reserve Bank of India's publication. Okay, some census report of India. So you get data from that. So government publication. Then international publication like WHO, ILO and all. Then reports of commissions and committee. There are several committees and several commissions and they publish their report. So you can take data from them also. Okay, like reports of tariff committee, reports of Gorwala committee, reports from Kotari commission. So like that, you can get the data from many sources, many commissions and committees. Then the fourth one is publications of research institute. There are several research institutes. From those research institutes, they publish their, findings. So you can take data from that. Publications of research institute. Then some magazines are there like Economic Journal, Economic Times, Financial Times, Commerce, Yojana, and the like. So from those magazines, you will get some data. So magazines. Then reports of trade association. There are different trade associations. From that, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, several trade associations are there. From there also you can take data, their reports. Then publications of personal investigation. What is personal investigation? A person who is doing research work. He will collect the information and publish it. So from there also you can take the data. That those things are the published information. And it forms the secondary form of data. Okay, what is left now? The single thing left now is unpublished source. So we have seen what is primary data, what is secondary data, what are the different methods of collecting the primary data. Okay, secondary data are mainly from published source. Even though mainly from published source, some unpublished source is also there. So the next is unpublished source. It's not published. You can find it in office files and records. So you get some information from the files and records that is not published. So that also you can take, that is known as unpublished source. So write as heading unpublished. Unpublished sources. Unpublished sources. The data which are not published, the data which are not published, which is available in office files and records. It is available in office files and records are unpublished data.